what's the outside area where it's in all snow and there's all the satellites you have to do?
I don't know.
Bunker.
Bunker. No, satellite.
Is it satellite?
I think. Array
sounds right.
I don't know. Josh, did you see the new Bond movie?
Yeah, the
Quantum of
No, that's not it.
Casino Quantum.
It's the Adele. It's named after that Adele song, Skyfall.
Hi, everybody. AwayCast 007. I'm here with my friend Gregg Andrew Delarocca.
Hello.
And also here with my friend Joshua Hinkey.
What up, yo?
What up, yo? How's everybody this week?
Good.
Very good.
We missed you last week, guys. I missed seeing you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little weird because we're gonna actually do one Tuesday night, and Greg made a point that we probably should have done it last week
And canceled this
skipped
week.
this week.
Yeah, and then done the Tuesday night one.
But either way, the podcast would have been 007 podcast,
it's right now.
which is today.
It's today.
So
We're gonna be talking about 007 a little bit. It's at some point.
are we gonna bring it back to like Sean Connery?
No, we're gonna talk about GoldenEye for N64. We're not talking
just
about
that?
Yeah, we're not talking about the movie.
And we couldn't figure out any other games. I said that there
There's other ones, but they suck.
there was a Game Boy.
Yeah, they all suck.
They're all bad.
There's a
Actually, there was one for GameCube that was really, really bad. Bloodstone, I think it was, or was that?
I thought it was The
more
World
recent
Is
one.
Not Enough.
No. I played that too. That also was bad.
They're all bad.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's only one Bond game.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah, I don't know about I don't play them. I mean, I've seen the.
How many
films.
Bond movies are there?
There are 24.
Okay.
Yeah,
Somebody's got
that- I
Wikipedia
got
open.
that
Why do you know
tucked
that?
away.
Why did you know that?
Well, because they were gonna name the Quantum of Solace was gonna be called Bond 22,
No.
and now like the working title for this one's called Bond 24. So.
Wait,
And it's just one of those things. I tuck it away, so for trivia or just on podcasts when we have James Bond podcasts.
Perfect.
but wait a second. The one that just came out is 24, or the next one's 24?
The next one's 24.
Okay, I was gonna say
Yeah.
a little erroneous there. What's everybody's favorite Bond movie? Huh? What do you like? Greg, you're the only one I think that's seen the newest one.
No, I saw the newest one.
Oh, Josh, you saw the newest one?
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right.
It was okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It looked really good from the previews.
Casino Royale. That's where it's at for me.
You like Casino Royale, huh?
Yeah,
Are you a poker player?
I am actually.
Is that why you were in a Casino Royale?
No, I just think that like action wise, it's really, really tight. It's an amazing movie. Actually, like the first time I saw Casino Royale, I was in college and I was supposed to be in class. Like I was in class, but I was supposed to be paying attention in class. But some kid was watching Casino Royale in front of me, and I couldn't hear it. But just watching the first two sequences that's how I spent that class. And it was amazing.
This is the education system for you folks.
Yeah.
What I have to say, what do you think about how I feel like Bond has always been kind of campy? Like when I watch the Pierce Brosnan movies, they seem a little funny. Is that supposed to be like that?
I think they're just older.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, so the way the acting is different, the way they film it's different. It's not as
It's like 90s action.
It's not as flawless. It's not as polished.
like 90s action has its own kind of.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and you go back to those early ones, and like they are the only thing that's campy about them is their age. Like they're actually pretty well done movies.
Are they?
Yeah, and I watched Dr. No in From Russia with Love, I think is the second one.
Mhm.
And From Russia with Love, that shit gets real there.
Yeah, all the older ones are. I don't know. I think with Daniel Craig, they all turned into Bourne movie. Like, I guess that's just where action movies are, huh?
Yeah, the Bourne movies are good.
Well, I like Pierce Brosnan because 007 GoldenEye
Right.
playing the video game.
Yeah. That's
Is that the Rosetta Stone of Bond for you? Is GoldenEye?
It's got to be because it's the only Bond I really knew in and out because I played the video game because I was involved in Bond 007 GoldenEye with Pierce Brosnan. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
facility.
I'm sure like the real true diehard Bond fans are gonna be cringing.
Oh, they're gonna be like, well, how could you not like? I don't know. Whatever. You're allowed to like your Bond. I don't know much about James Bond, but
and having a podcast themed around Bond kind of sucks, just because I don't think we know that much about Bond.
No, but we know enough about the video game.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about that?
I mean, it's not really. I guess I should say it's not themed around this. There's really no theme to our podcast. It's just
but it's 007. Figure would say, hey, what's up, 007?
Yeah.
We have something in common now. Kinda. Numbers.
Yeah.
Yes. Our
There's
viewers
numbers.
can very much relate to numbers.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's that's it. So we were talking earlier about all the can we name the cheats that we unlocked? Huh? DK mode.
Yeah, paintball mode.
Invincibility mode. I lose it after
There's
that.
so many.
There's like 100.
I can't remember any.
Well, there's super speed, and I remember the super speed specifically because I had a friend in college, and he would brag to death that he was the master of Bond. However, this motherfucker would only play Bond if it was super speed, big heads, one-hit kills.
Oh my
It was the
god.
only way that he would do it.
I had people like that play the same.
Well,
same
I
way.
like one-hit kills personally.
Man with the
Well,
golden gun mode or whatever.
The biggest problem to that was
License
that
to
like
kill.
he was really good, but he was really good because everyone had to play with his janky ass rules.
No, but when he made you use a Madcast controller too, probably, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I hate those people. Don't you remember being in school or, being younger and kids would be like, I'm the master. And you kind of knew deep down, you're like, dude.
All the other
I could
cheats.
take you.
All the other cheats were for weapons to be unlocked at the beginning of the level, like double grenade launchers, double knives,
double
lasers.
I like to think that conversation has grown a little more grounded recently because, back when we were kids, we all felt like we were the best because, you would go to school and there were, how many kids that played Bond? Out of your high school or middle school or whatever, there was, a total of 12 people. This kid was the best. But
Right.
now, with online play, that kid gets owned by some kid in Serbia, So now he is, appropriately put in his place.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still the internet. You're not really put in your place.
You just can't say on the playground, I'm the best Call of Duty player. It's no, you can't be, because you'd be on a team and screaming at each other in England right now.
That's true. But those were the good old days, right? Where you can actually be like, yo, come over after school. Bond match.
Yes. I do miss that.
Hold on. Greg's playing all the deaths from Bond right now.
Getting here because it's on. It's being recorded through the same line that Josh is coming in on, but we don't have to get into that anymore.
It sounded like Gloria Stefan was starting a drum roll.
God. So,
4-player split screen co-op.
yeah.
I did use a Game Shark at certain points with that game, not for gameplay, but for exploits.
I never did. I unlocked everything myself, and I mean...
Oh, I unlocked everything myself, too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's these parts where, with Game Shark, you didn't have to use cheats. It would be okay, reskin the whole game. And, you could reskin it. And
Really?
I thought, it reskinned it all rainbows. And I played it. I was like, oh, this is cool.
We did use the Game Shark. It's not something I'm overly proud of, but I do like looking it's a microcosm of that time,
Right.
You get the Game Shark and you plug it in. You had to plug that cartridge in, then plug your N64 cartridge over it.
I like how
was
you call it the Game Shark, like you're really old. The Game Shark.
the Game Shark. It was amazing.
It's on the Game Shark.
Is this the Game Shark?
You and your Xbox cubes and your whatnots.
So, how was your weekend, dude? Josh?
It was good. It was pretty low key. Last weekend, I flew down to Minnesota to hang out with the family. We went to go see a Twins game, which was cool. And then flew back the very next day, that was a crazy turnaround. That's a lot of airport and not enough time.
Yeah, that's annoying. Travel
yeah.
like that, it just gets it kills you. It makes you want to sleep for a week.
Yeah, it was. So when we didn't do the podcast last week, I was like, this is all right. This is not the worst thing in the world because, man, I'm just trying to figure out where I am right now.
Right.
But I saw Star Trek Into Darkness this weekend.
Verdict?
I saw it Wednesday at the midnight opening.
What do you
I'm one
give
of
it?
those nerds.
How'd you like it?
And keep in the Josh rating system.
What is the Josh rating system out of 5?
It's out of 3.
It's out of
Out of
3 of whatever item of your choice.
Okay. I would give Star Trek Into Darkness 2 golden snitches.
Oh, why a Harry Potter reference, man? We just opened up the world. We opened the world for you. Anything. Golden
But Harry
snitches.
Potter's unexpected. You know, I wouldn't give snitches to a Harry Potter movie. Harry Potter, I'd give, I don't know.
We're tapping into a whole different demographic with this talk right now, Josh.
Yes, but it was good. I love Benedict Cumberbatch. Anyone who has seen Sherlock, if you haven't seen Sherlock, like certain people, Nathan Ortega, go watch Sherlock.
I love Sherlock. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
I wish there was more.
Yeah. Well, Benedict Cumberbatch is the villain, and I thought he was really, really good. Me and a stated person, Nathan Ortega, were beefing over Twitter a little bit about it. He was unimpressed by Mr. Cumberbatch, and I think I'm saying that wrong. Cumberbatch.
Unimpressed by him in Sherlock or in Star Trek?
In Star Trek Into Darkness. He has not watched Sherlock yet, so that's his assignment, is to watch Sherlock.
I have only seen the first new Star Trek movie. How does it compare?
I think that's part of the problem, is that it's too much like the first Star Trek movie. There's a lot of jokes that, are kind of the same jokes spun off. And like, yes, I know they're nods to the TV show, but it kind of leans a little bit too heavily on those. It's good. I don't want to get too much into nitpicking it. I think that anyone who saw it and was like, yeah, this is going to be awesome, will be pretty happy leaving the theater. I don't think anyone particularly disliked the last one, so it's in the same vein. It's hard to criticize that.
All right, Star Trek, go see it.
2 golden snitches.
And 5 big wet kisses.
That's not a Josh Hinkey endorsed rating system.
Greg, what did you do this weekend, pal?
I didn't do anything good. I had to go do some freelance work on Friday night, and I had to work on it all day yesterday. And well, actually, I was supposed to work on it all day yesterday, and I ended up just playing Metro
last night.
And I didn't finish it. I got to finish it tomorrow, the work. But I didn't do anything that good. Just played Metro.
So what do you like about Metro, Greg?
You want to talk about Metro now?
Let's talk about Metro right now, because I played Metro too.
Metro was a huge surprise for me. Because...
Well, Greg, you did not play Metro 2033, did you?
No, I didn't. And I honestly didn't expect as much as I got out of this game that I played, especially because I guess I didn't really have an idea of what I was getting into because I didn't play the first game. But it wasn't really promoted that well, and it wasn't really, so it just seemed like, I watched a quick look right before I bought it. And I was honestly expecting a game that was going to be all in the Metro system and probably a little weak and just a shooter that,
just bland,
yeah, dark shooter, and story was good, and some of the voice acting was a little funky, but the story was really good, and the actual gameplay mechanics were fun, sneaking around and the lights.
Yeah, there's a lot of stealth.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. The weapons were awesome. They sounded really good. I got a lot more than I expected out of that game. And I would honestly... what's funny is I was going through the whole game. I was in love with it. And then I got to the end of it, and I was pissed because the ending wasn't what I wanted, or what I expected, I should say. And it turns out, because I was complaining to John over the phone, I was like, the ending, I wasn't happy with it. And then I came over to John's, and he showed me the ending he got. And he got a different ending than me.
I'm a good guy.
And it was the one that I wish would have happened, which I thought was really funny. It just happened to be exactly what I wish was going to happen in the game. And I could say after seeing that, it's, for what it is, the game is really, really, really well done, and it's definitely worth playing.
So, Greg, did you mess up the ending through your choices?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
I fucking killed everyone and everything.
So you were a dick. You're not going to get.
Let me just say that what made me think that I was going to get I didn't know there was 2 different endings, first of all, and what made me think that I wasn't that big of a dick is there's this little alien guy, the dark one. I'm not going to talk too much about the game. Who at one point in the game follows you around, and he makes comments on your decisions to do stuff sometimes. And like, I'll fucking kill dudes, and he'll be like, you know what? I understand why you kill dudes. They're bad fucking dudes, and you should kill them. So then I'm thinking, you know what? As long as I'm killing the bad dudes, then I'm okay.
Well,
so wait. So you're gonna put off your moral compass onto this in-game alien? That's what you're saying?
That in-game alien was part of the ending that I wanted that I didn't get because I wasn't good enough.
See, when I didn't kill people, the alien would be like, well, I suppose not killing is better. He like literally said that word for word.
He didn't tell me that he would have said that.
Well,
I didn't know.
So I went through the whole game trying to get the silent whatever achievement, not kill any humans through your whole playthrough.
It's very hard to do, and when he told me he was doing that, it sounded like the most unfun thing I've ever heard of in my life.
It was not unfun. It was very, very challenging. However, at the end of the game, when the achievement was supposed to pop, I did not get it.
No!
He went through the whole game not killing anybody, and he didn't get the achievement.
I didn't.
Did you throw your controller? That's controller throwing.
I just looked at it and I was like, I can't believe it, because before I finished up, I looked online to try to get like an idea of anybody who's done this, any advice, and some people were like, oh, it's not popping, whatever. But I figured it's just a bunch of dumb kids that have killed people, because the achievement specifically says, don't kill anyone unless you go through the whole game without killing anybody unless forced to, or you have to, or some kind of words like that. So some kids would go through and think that they have to kill these people, but they really didn't. So everyone in forums was posting like, oh, I killed these guys, is that okay? And another kid would be like, you're an idiot, you're not supposed to kill those guys. So I found a reliable source, and
I just picture Johnny wading through the comments of 14-year-olds. Like,
dude, totally.
In this real world room of Johnny just like, is there an adult here?
Like, but I look through, and there's this one dude wrote, yeah, I'm on like my 4th playthrough just so I could test out what kills and what doesn't. I'm like, dude, 4th playthrough? You've got to be 12 or 13 to be able to play this.
Yeah, kid does not have a job.
Oh my god! But anyway, I followed his advice at the end. After getting through to like the last 1% of the game, I followed his advice in the last mission, and I got the good ending because I made all good decisions. But the achievement didn't pop.
Now, Josh, you said you didn't play the game and you had a reason for not playing it, which I would like to hear.
Okay. So this is my reason for not playing Metro Last Light, and I'm gonna wait until kind of the end of the year, Game of the Year talk starts, and like if it's in that conversation, that's when I'll probably make my decision to go back and play it. Like if people are like, "Look, Game of the Year first-person shooter, need this," like Metro Last Light's in that conversation, I'll be like, "All right, I'll go back and play it." But I just hit a point in finishing. Oh crap! What was I think it was like around Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, or Soul Sacrifice for that matter, where I was really getting burnt out by AAA titles. Like, I love games, I love everything that people put out. I like to play everything, but I was just to that point where I'm like, I just can't play another game where my sole purpose is to go around shooting people. I just need something that like will just make me think a little bit of a different way. And so, I got that. I went out and played a few games that just, were the complete flip side. Just, cleansed my palate, and now I'm ready to get back into games like that.
So then why don't you play Metro now? It's so good, Josh.
Well, I'm going to be playing Resident Evil. I will play it.
Don't wait till the end of the year. It's really good.
Well,
it's really good, Josh.
But because we're talking about it now, I have effectively missed the conversation window for its pertinence. So I have to wait for it to come back, and the end of year is probably when that's most likely to happen. Also, probably be when I'll have the time to actually go back and play it.
I give Metro like a 7.5.
Golden Guns.
Golden Guns.
Hold on.
Because it's GoldenEye. What are you doing?
I give it 8.5 clobs.
The reason that I give it 7.5, very good, very tight all around. But in the beginning of the game, I played Metro 2033. I played it all the way through, played it almost twice. The game doesn't really, it ramps up really quickly in the beginning. Right off the bat, you're given the option to have 3 different weapons, and you're also managing like four gadgets and 4 sub ammo types, like throwing knives, grenades, fire grenades. I think that's it, actually.
That shit all sucks. You don't even use half of that stuff, honestly. I mean, I use it for fun, but
but it's still there.
It's you forget about it.
It's still there. So
it's not confusing or anything.
Also, to open up your menu and map, you have to. It's a separate button push. you press the back button. I was playing on 360. You press the back button and you take out your lighter and clipboard, and your clipboard has your compass, which tells you where to go, and it also has your mission objectives. But you have to have the lighter on.
Never used any of that stuff the entire time I played the game.
Might be why Gregg got the bad ending. Who knows?
You think that's why? Because I didn't use my map and my lighter?
Action.
You got to use the clipboard.
I've never even used it. Never even looked for it.
You got to use the clipboard. That's what it is. The bad ending.
Gregg's RTM is just completely ignorant of what's happening. He's like, I don't know, I'm just going this way.
And everybody around him's like, Artyom, where's your clipboard?
No touch. That was a terrible Russian accent.
It's fine.
That was fine. It was aggressive enough.
The game looks really good, though. When you're in that world, the world is awesome. There's some really creative places that they put together, like working with what they had, and like within that sort of atmosphere, they put together like really interesting stuff.
Really, really good atmosphere. I mean, even the first one had great atmosphere too, and the guns are great too. There's enough customizability.
They're fun to shoot. They are just so much fun to shoot.
They actually have like your flashlight and some of the guns you actually have to manually pump to generate energy. I mean, just everything in it's post-apocalyptic Russia, obviously.
It's dark.
For those of you who don't know. So
creepy.
What's good is they do a really good job of keeping that kind of motif alive, where a lot of the weapons are makeshift and a lot of the gadgets you have are like made from spare parts, and like there's no pristine anything anymore, which is really cool. Adds to the atmosphere of the game.
And I think it always rings hollow when people say that a game is realistic, because there's nothing realistic about Metro in any way, shape, or form, Right. But I do appreciate the fact that it thinks a little bit differently about its combat. I'm basing it off of Metro 2033.
Right.
But it's a lot more. It's a thinking man's first-person shooter.
Absolutely.
It's plotting and its pace. It's not necessarily going to just keep throwing guys at you. It thinks a little bit more about it and how you have to go about some of that difficulty. And sometimes, in Metro 23, there's situations where you're just going to have to run. You can't kill everything in front of you. Just run for it.
Right. There is a survival aspect to it.
This game, I'd say there's a lot of areas where I would go through playing the way that I'm playing, and you realize that they've set up like alternate ways to do this. Like you see like little tunnels or like little separate like ways that you could have walked around the guys to be more stealthy, and it kind of makes you want to go back and play the game again using some of this stuff that like you doing it a little bit differently. I kind of like that about it, because now I'm probably gonna go back through it and play on Ranger mode, the harder difficulty, and I'm probably gonna try to be a little bit more stealthy than I was my first playthrough.
It was brought up before that Metro 2033, or Metro in general, it was a book written in Russia, much like how The Witcher 3 or Witcher is based on the book series from Poland. And I think that you have to applaud those Eastern European developers for finding some good source material to base these games off of that is actually fairly interesting. And it's not completely original, but at least it's something that's not, American currency. We don't hear about it all the time. And I think that provides, getting that type of vision from, just a different geographical location can really open up a lot of ideas in games. It makes us think differently about games.
Definitely. I have only said really positive things about the game, but I will go negative things right now. Just a couple. Like you mentioned, the book, the Metro 33 novel, is pretty much spammed all over the game. It's in every room like 3 times, on the floor, in a bookcase. Which is weird. Kind of aggravating to see everywhere.
Yeah, in the first one, it was pretty subtle, where it was like every once in a while you'd see it when you get to the towns, and it's like, oh, haha, that's funny. But in this one, there's like giant posters, because apparently the writer of the book, I can't pronounce his name, but he came out with Metro 2034 and Metro 2035.
I see those everywhere too. There's like books on the floor, 2033, the next to it, 2034.
And I mean, it's still borderline product placement. Like, it's not really product placement because it's for the thing you're playing, basically, but it's still kind of product. It's not like it says Pepsi, but
yeah. And then all the voice acting for the kids in the game, little kids, is obviously done by adults.
Yeah, the children is really fun. It's like, Daddy, Daddy.
Woof. Oh, Mommy? What are we gonna do now, Mommy?
Yeah, you can tell that they've been pitched up.
So
Josh, you mentioned you're playing other games that were more ground or whatever you said before, hating on the big titles. What are you playing?
He's too indie for us now, Josh.
What do you play? You're Phil Fish now, asshole.
Yeah, I put on my my wool cap and my sandals and rolled up my jeans, a little bit, and then I sat down and started playing games. No, I played a lot of different stuff actually. It was this beautiful like week and a half of just kind of playing a bunch of stuff that I'd missed out on that I wanted to go back and play. I played Year Walk on the iPhone. Did you guys play that at all?
No, I haven't. Tell us what it is.
It's so good. So good.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
But go ahead and tell me about it.
So the Year Walk is an old, and I'm not basing this off of any fact. I should have Wikipedia'd it or something before I really stated this. But according to the game, it was like a Swedish tradition, way back when, to at the new year starve yourself, dehydrate yourself, and then at midnight of the new year walk into the snow, and you will see the future kind of through your hallucinations, being deprived of food and whatnot. And that's basically how this game begins. Is you are going to do this to solve some personal issues that you're going through. And basically, you start having these hallucinations, but they are, really, really fucked up hallucinations. Basically, it's a lot of crazy things.
This sounds pretty ambitious for an iOS game.
It really is, and you have to stick with it. Like the first probably, I think the first half hour that I played it, it was just kind of annoying. Like I didn't quite know how to do anything because there's no help. There's puzzles that are there. It's really like an old point and click puzzle game, kind of like King's Quest was back when it was like on the Apple II, where you're literally just like there's no help on what goes with what, how to solve the puzzle. You just need to figure it out. But when you do that, when they have stuff that's super difficult like that, it's actually super rewarding to finish it. Like, the first puzzle I came across, I literally got to a point where I was like, oh my God, I don't know what you want from me. And then I was like, oh, well, I remember seeing this back here. Let me go see this again. And so it's a lot of just kind of exploring around. And then the best part about it is that because you've gone maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes just exploring in this quiet world with all ambiance music, when something jumps out at you, it's really, really scary. So I'm like standing in line at the airport, with my ID out, ready to give it to a security guard, and this like scary moment pops up, and I'm like, "Wah!" in line. And everyone's looking at me like, "Oh God, what's this kid doing over here? He's on his iPhone."
So how is the gameplay handled? What is it like?
It's all touchscreen.
It's first person, kind of like Myst,
yeah,
or like that.
Exactly. I mean, that's a pretty good comparison. It's first person. You pull up to like kind of move forward, swipe to the side to move to the left, to the right.
I'm gonna get it right now as you're speaking.
You really should. It's really fantastic, and like I said, I had to go once or twice online to actually solve some of the puzzles, specifically at the end. After you finish the game, go online and definitely kind of look up the secret to the ending, because there's a whole second part to that game that's very meta, but it's amazingly fantastic. So yeah, I mean, hats off to those guys, and I'm really excited to see what they do next. And just kind of getting something that was completely atmosphere. You're never shooting anything; it's just fucking with your head, and that is what was really fantastic. It's what I got from that.
I remember looking this up maybe a month ago or whenever it first came out. I think it was like a month ago.
Yeah,
and I see here on the App Store that there's actually a companion that goes with it to help you solve puzzles.
No, the companion actually just has a bunch of stuff in it that can't help you at all until you get to the end of the game, and that's all I'm going to say on that.
Oh, cool. It's actually $4. It's worth $4.
It's definitely worth $4.
All right, buying it. Josh, you owe me $4 if I hate it.
Deal. Fair enough.
And you this way when you come for Comic-Con.
Yeah. Woo! Very excited.
Yeah, man. We're excited to. I mean,
watch out, New York. I'm coming for you.
It's in October, but
Josh, we're trying to get our own little podcast booth.
Yeah, chances are we're going to. We're probably gonna have our own little thing. So that'll be exciting. Hopefully we'll be there giving out stuff, but let's not talk about it too much until I confirm the fact that I can actually get it. But I've inquired, but at the very least, Josh is coming down and we're gonna hang out for a Comic-Con.
It'll be very cool.
Josh is gonna bring his Harry Potter costume.
Yeah, you know it.
Oh, please don't.
I also played Thomas Was Alone on the PS Vita, which was a great game to play on the Vita. I hadn't played it yet, and that's been out for like 2 years.
I watched a video on it today, actually, because someone posted something. That's so weird. So it's been out for 2 years, that game?
Yeah, I think it was originally... don't quote me on this. I think it was originally on the XBLA store. It went to Steam last year, and now it's finally made its way to the PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita.
Oh, because someone just recently, a friend of mine posted that on Facebook, and I didn't even know what it was, and I went and watched a video on it, and it seemed kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of deep for such a simple, like, looking concept.
Definitely. Go ahead, John. You were going to say something.
It looks like it's just a bunch of pixels, right? Like cubes.
It's like
and
shapes.
they all have different
but apparently there's like
attributes.
apparently there's like a really deep like story about friendship behind the whole thing or something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
and there's a self-aware AI story that's kind of told throughout it.
I gotta check it out. I was gonna get it on Vita, but I think it's like $10 on Vita, isn't it?
Exactly. And you buy it on Vita, you get it on PS3 too. Or vice versa. $10, it's cross-buy, which means you buy one, you get the other. Can't cross-save between them. But yeah, and that one's only like 2 hours of just playing the story/campaign mode. But, you know, it's a platformer that makes you really... It causes its puzzles to have different attributes. You have to figure out the attributes to kind of all work together to get through the stage. And I really appreciate games like that. And that's kind of like what I was saying when I was like, I couldn't play Metro 2033... or I'm sorry, Last Light, because I needed something that just was going to make my brain kind of get into puzzle mode and just like, you know, think and, you know, just...
It's interesting how that happens. It's interesting how sometimes you can sit and look at your collection of games and say, I want to play nothing. And then for me, usually I turn to an RPG, like a classic turn-based RPG. I feel like that's where I usually get my reset.
Yeah, know? And that's a really good place to go.
Which is basically where I went when I finally bought Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah, how are you digging it?
It's crazy, man. Like I want to talk to someone about it, because when you play that game without any kind of outside input, I feel like I'm doing everything wrong. Like I feel like I'm just breaking everything. Like I'm not doing everything right. I'm not spending my time correctly. I'm not making the right personas. I feel like I'm just not. Did you beat the game?
I beat it, yeah. Well, and it's one of those games that has multiple endings. I didn't get the quote-unquote best ending, but I wasn't too much into it.
How stressed out were you when you were playing?
Actually, so I was playing that game over Christmas, and it was just like in a weird spot where like all my roommates had gone home for Christmas, and I was stuck here in Chicago. So I like had no one to talk to or anything like that. So I just kind of played it. And I actually like really, and it was very relaxing in that sense. Where like, it was just kind of this thing that I did where I just pull it out and just kind of enjoy it.
It's strange to me how the game. I guess I didn't expect it to be so. Man.
So explain the game for the listeners.
Okay, so Persona 4 Golden is. I mean, I've never played any of the other Personas. Is it better that you say something? Because I have no idea.
I've never played any Persona.
Okay, so basically it's a JRPG that comes off as like a traditional, like if you know nothing about the games, it comes off as like a traditional turn-based, JRPG. Mm-hmm. And if everything that comes along with it, that it's there, equipment, battles, loot, etc., etc. But it turns out like primarily the game is just living your life. Like, yeah, there's something going on in the town that involves some kind of like paranormal television show that comes on late at night, and it shows someone who's going to be murdered potentially. And you're the kid from the city who just moves to a small town, and your uncle's taking care of you because your parents are away, and you make friends with your cousin who's a sweet little girl named Nanako, right?
Yeah, Nanako, yeah.
Yeah, she's cool. And, you end up going to school, and it's nuts the amount of... it's so hard for me to talk about because there's so much I'm going to miss. But like when you're in school, you can join clubs and you can join sports teams and you meet people. And like the whole point of the game, it seems like, what you have... The reason it's called Persona is because if it's something like... it's like Pokemon a little bit. So you have your persona, which is the essence that comes out of you, like your character. your avatar type character person. And then what happens is when you battle people or you battle enemies, once you go into the TV world, you find cards that have different personas. And now the personas, they all have different attributes. Like certain personas will have the ability to use fire, ice, melee, support, etc. But what happens is you can take different personas and you can fuse them together to create stronger personas. But they only get stronger based on your social links. When what that is that's when you're in the real world, when you are at school, when you are at the drama club, when you're playing basketball. These people that you meet and the choices that you make while you're hanging out with them create these things called social links, like I said before. And depending on what social link those people belong to is how they how your personas level up, because with your best friends you are in the it's not in the fool. It's called the persona of the fool. So there's like fool. What else is there, Josh?
Oh god.
Yeah, it's just like a whole bunch of those it's like fool, warrior.
But it's fairly comparable to the the names are different, but it's comparable to the summons from Final Fantasy. Like,
right.
You have each summon has its own attributes to it.
Right. So, but I know I'm getting so deep into this right now, even though I'm barely scratching the surface. But it's so you create those personas and they help you fight better in battle. But I feel like I've only been fighting maybe a quarter of the time I've been playing this game.
Easily. And how far are you, just so I don't ruin anything?
I'm up to everyone. This is the crazy thing. Is like when the story isn't super deep in the grand scheme of things.
No.
But what happens is through these people that you meet in these social links and stuff, especially your immediate party, you end up having to do battle with their alter egos. And what their alter egos are these people who are being shadowed by their personality.
And their personal demons.
Right. It's pretty much right. Josh said it better than me, obviously. Their personal demons. So this, it's so hard to remember these Japanese names.
So the first one you get begins with a Y. Yukiko is the girl. She's the girl with black hair.
And then there's Yasuke.
Yeah.
And then there's Chie. And then there's Chie.
Chie-chan, yeah.
Okay, so what was Chie's problem?
Chie-chan is she's a short-haired, kind of brown-haired girl. And she is it's so long since I played this.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. Listen, let's not get even because I know we're saying all these Japanese names and we sound like the biggest LARPing type anime nerds that we possibly could sound like. So basically you're fighting their demons, and there's one guy I'm up to right now, and you probably can guess by the build up that I'm doing, is the tough biker dude.
Yeah.
And it's a little weird because this biker dude, you oversee some things happening that are a little strange territory for this game to be going into.
Yeah. That's right.
So now I'm getting this idea where he's.
Hey, what do you mean by that?
I'll get to it in a sec.
You can say it. I think that's not spoiler.
No. I'm gonna say it, but I'm getting there. So you're doing some investigation because you think that this guy is potentially going to be the next one that's going to be murdered or captured. So you do some spying on him, and you see that this character that keeps returning, this mysterious character, says something to him, and he responds by like, "Oh, he wants to hang out after school, but does he want to go on a date?" He's like, "But I'm a guy, and he's a guy." That's weird.
So the lead character is gay.
Well, it's not the lead character. This is like
one of the
guy.
main characters.
So, but now, when people watch this television show, they see the personal demons of the person who's going to be murdered. So then they watch the channel, and this biker guy, his homosexual personality is on the television. So you see the demons that he's fighting.
Yeah.
And it's like super over the top. The guy is so gay, man. Like he is like what's that, like drag queen gay, like really gay. So that's where I'm at now. But it was strange, and even the one with what's the chick's name, the brunette?
Yukiko.
Yeah, even with her that was a little iffy too. It was about like because she's a prude.
Yeah, and her demon, her quote unquote demon, is that is super slutty and like.
So the game explores those things in such a I guess carefree way that it kind of caught me off guard. But that's what I'm saying is like the story's not deep. I mean, you're dealing with some really, as a whole, it's shallow. But once you start getting into
school.
Yeah, it's high school. But once you start getting into people's personal stuff, it's like, wow, man, they're like, they're hitting some weird territory. I don't know.
The way that they touch it is very, you know, like, because there were certain moments where I was like, oh man, like, especially with that character, oh crap, I'm so pissed I can't remember his name. But the biker character who's gay, there's sometimes you're like, oh my god, is this, you know, like anti-homosexual? And it doesn't ever go that far in either direction. I think that the thing that's really strong about the game is it constantly just states, be true to yourself, just be who you are, you know. And I think that they do a pretty good job of balancing that act to kind of keep everyone happy.
I'm totally invested in it. I think that's what it's doing. It's just, the game is slow. Not in a bad way though, because what happens is that you're running on not a real time schedule, but you're running on a calendar, and every time you choose to do something, that takes up a portion of that day. And when that day is over, you move to the next day and the next day, and something different is happening every day, and you have to like budget your time. And so after school, you can go to the drama club and get like +1 or like an advancement in your courage or something. Or you can go to work and get like 5,000 yen. Or you can hang out with your little sister or your little sister or cousin or whatever. And so you have to decide how you want to spend your days. And that's where I get a little confused, where I'm like, am I doing this right? Like, am I leveling up all the right things?
I think I'd take it step away from it from a stat perspective and just mostly try to take it as, and this is why I think the game really succeeds in a weird way, and take it as actually putting yourself in that mind of the high schooler. Like, you know, I have a commitment to go play, you know, to basketball practice, but at the same time, I need to study for my finals. But at the same time, I really need to train because there's murders going on in this city.
I fucked up my midterms, man.
Oh no! Oh my god! And so this is the best thing about playing Persona is that like people watch me over my shoulder as I'm playing games, or you know, I'll have the sound on and they kind of look, and the best part about these games is they'll have there are certain little story parts that aren't actually having to do with the murders or anything but just you hanging out with your friends. Like, you know, you go on a camping trip at one point and, you know, stuff like that. And that is kind of the best part because it's literally just you hanging out with your friends doing friend stuff. I kind of link it in a weird way to Buffy the Vampire Slayer because, like...
What the fuck?
Yeah, just bear with me.
I'm here.
Because Buffy the Vampire Slayer is, like, half of it is this weird supernatural battle against vampires with, like, all of this deep, you know, lore of, like, how the vampires exist and all that stuff like that. And then the other half of it is the regular high school drama. It's like, oh, my God, who am I going to ask to prom?
Exactly.
And it's a weird melding of these two worlds, but I just think it nails it. Like, it's just so good, you know. And people are like, so what are you talking about? What are you playing on that game? And I'm like, oh, well, you know, we need to make an omelet for my little sister. And they're like, what game are you playing? This is ridiculous.
You know, like on my way to work, I'll pop it in just to play a game on the subway, and I can just press X the whole time for about a half hour, going through like dialogue and choices and stuff without even getting to battle. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah. I think everyone should play it. If you're a fan of like Final Fantasy or you know, that's what I would say. I would say that this game is probably one of the closest to like Final Fantasy classic, like 7 or 8 that I've played in a long time.
Especially if you're just one of those people who like immersive RPG experiences, you know, like, because when you talk about a slow burn, part of the immersion of this game is literally like every day you need to set a schedule for yourself. Like, even if it's like, I'm going to go to the beach and then study my homework and then go see a movie with my girlfriend. Like, and like, it's very mundane in that sense, but that's kind of where the immersion is.
It sounds so ridiculous when we talk about it like that.
I know, but it's so great. It's so amazing.
Like, anybody who's never played a video game before is going to listen to this, be like, listen to this, you're hanging out with your virtual girlfriend, what are you, stupid?
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Mass Effect people, if you really dug Mass Effect, this is a perfect companion for you.
I think if you have a Vita, you should play that game.
Yeah, that's probably true too. And it's that perfect thing on the Vita where it's like, you know, you can play it for 15 minutes, play it for an hour, play it for 3 hours. No matter what you do, you're going to feel like you're making progress and enjoying it. So.
Josh, you know what I realized? Greg, you too. We haven't played a game together, us three.
I know.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's because Josh is staying away from mainstream games for a
dude.
little while.
Oh, so I have another indie game to drop on you guys.
Drop it. Drop it, Josh.
I played about 2 hours of Prison Architect today.
Did you?
Yeah. It's just the alpha version. So it's just like it's an early build. It's very, very interesting. It's it's kind of like SimCity meets Prison. Where you're literally having to build these facilities, and it all kind of has this very like caricature-y art style where like all the guys have big round heads and funny round bodies, and when they sweep the floor, a weird like oval shape and a little circle shape for their hand comes out, and holds a broom.
So it's got a little bit of charisma.
Yeah, well, and then not the best part, but the like crazy part that is unexpected, I guess is the best way to say it, is that it goes from that kind of art style, and then suddenly like one of the prisoners like starts a riot or something like
shanked.
that. Yeah, and then like you see the cops run in, they'll beat them to like start beating them down. Blood splatters on the walls. People are like, "Where's the infirmary? How come you haven't built an infirmary?" And you're like, "I'm trying to build cells for these guys." Like,
whoa, were you playing this with the Oculus on, man?
Yeah, exactly.
You were invested. That sounds awesome, though. I had no idea it was that.
I'm looking at the game, and it's still being built right now, right?
Yeah.
And they have almost kind of like a Kickstarter on their page, and some of the perks are like the only one that's sold out is for $1,000 they'll make you one of the warden's characters. They'll model you after one of the warden characters in the game, and then there's a bunch left for $250 that'll make you a character in the prison. They'll make you one of the prisoners. They'll make one of the faces
for $250. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You guys want to get one going?
Get our own cell.
Be a prisoner.
Well, you know what it kind of sounds like, Josh? It kind of sounds like one of those Farmville type games, like a.
No, I'm looking at it. It doesn't look like that really.
But I never played Farmville, but I guess it would be in the sense that it's a sim. You're managing a prison. It's all those management skills. The biggest problem that it has right now is that it's just a little too frantic. Mm-hmm. Because 8 prisoners arrive every single day.
There's like gore in this game. There's blood.
Yeah.
We're looking at a screenshot now. There's just pools of blood everywhere.
Yeah. And like as the prisoners come and go, like your floors start out really clean, but if you don't have a maintenance staff, the floors will start to get dirty and murky.
This looks really fun, actually.
If you don't put drains in your shower, the prison becomes flooded.
What is it out for? Just PC?
Just PC, yeah.
Is it out for Mac?
I don't know.
I'll check.
Is it on
Actually,
Steam?
I think so. Yeah,
it's a Steam game, or is it?
It's not Steam, but it is. There is a build out for Mac. There's an alpha build out for Mac.
Oh, cool. Have you ever played Papers, Please?
Yes. Well, I haven't played Papers, Please. I played Republic of Times.
Oh, okay, same thing.
It says it's on
Republic
Steam.
Really
it says here it's on Steam.
Oh, it might be part of that Steam early build club or whatever.
Oh, right.
I'll check it out. You know what I played recently? Speaking of indie types, I played Costume Quest. I got the Humble Bundle.
Oh, nice.
What's it called?
For Broken Age, and it has the rock one with Jack Black, right?
Yeah.
Brutal Legend.
Psychonauts.
Yeah.
But I had an issue. I didn't play them for very long because I wanted to get my 360 controller hooked up with my Mac, but there's a lot of driver issues because it's a Mac and it's not a Microsoft product. It's iOS and not Windows, so it gives me a hard time. And if anybody wants to shout out with some tips on how to get that shit working, I mean, I have the receiver for it to plug in a USB receiver, but I want to play Psychonauts and Costume Quest. And I tried playing Costume Quest with my my keyboard, and it seemed fun, but I just couldn't get into that's definitely not a game to play on the keyboard, without a doubt.
And there's just something, and there are PC gamers out there who have mastered the keyboard mouse mashup. And I think it's one of those things where if that's what you grew up with, if that's what you know, that's gaming to you. But for me, it's just like a controller and a couch is just something I need. I actually moved my PC in front of a couch because I just hate being in a desk chair.
Yeah. I mean, there's only a few things that I enjoy. I can play first persons. I can play like World of Warcraft. Speaking of World of Warcraft, actually,
Oh, come on.
Greg.
What?
Greg.
What
did you do this week when you were bored?
Last
Hey
weekend.
Greg, I hered that World of Warcraft lost 1.3 million subscribers.
Actually, Josh, they lost 1.299 million subscribers because I joined last weekend.
Oh, Greg did it.
Welcome to the club.
I used to play a long time ago, and I've had some downtime in my life, and I thought it'd be a good way to kill some time. And it's not horrible; it's just a little mundane and repetitive. But
I went over to Greg's house and I saw him playing, and he showed off his Worgen, wolf hunter man.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Greg, you're not going to play anymore after this. He signed up for 3 months, right?
Yeah, I got the 3-month membership.
He got the 3-month pass. And I said, Greg, you're not going to play anymore. Greg, have you played since I left that night?
No.
Okay. So they're back at 1.3 million.
No, I mean, they're still taking my money.
Well,
so.
I talked to my friend Mike, who I used to play World of Warcraft with quite heavily, and he said they lost those users because of something happened in China, and the details aren't right. But he's been playing since beta versions of the game. He's been at top level, whatever. But he's.
I mean, what kind of did he give any details on it?
He said something about some kind of laws in China, I think. I could be wrong, but I don't think 1.3 just stopped playing. But there was that thing on Reddit about that top level guild that stopped playing too. But
I was looking at this thing on Reddit today. It was showing how it used to be and how it is now. Like a lot of the places and a lot of the.
Oh, everything's different. I mean,
yeah, and the way it's formatted is really different, and I do kind of miss the way it was when we played back in like 2005. I think.
Yeah, but it's still the same.
No, it feels like it's more like it feels more like you have a mission the whole time. Like it feels more like it's less explorative. I feel like.
Why do you think that?
I don't know. It just seems managed too much. Like the game is like overly managed, so you don't have as much freedoms. It feels like to be creative with your character or to walk off the beaten path and do something. Like you really can't do it. And they took away skill trees. Now you kind of have like these pre-made kind of like decisions you make every 15 levels.
What they do now is that because nobody's really starting to play for the reason that you started to play. A lot of people, the reason I even started to play was, to get some of the exploration stuff, but I wanted to get directly to the end level rating and stuff like that.
So they give you that now. You could start with a level 55 character right from the beginning if you want.
Yeah, well, that's just Death Knights only.
Yeah, but that's still, you can still go up against
but you have to have
high-level characters.
You have to have a character over 55 to start a Death Knight.
It was going to let me start one. I didn't have a character over 55.
I think you need one. I could be wrong, but I think you need one.
I don't know. It was going to let me choose one. I'm pretty sure.
Let's log in.
I can right now.
So here's my thing with World of Warcraft, and like I have given this game so many opportunities that it's not even fair. Because I tried, like I got onto a friend's account way back, 4 or 5 years back.
Josh, Greg just turned on Warcraft. That's why we're laughing. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
We can hear it when you. Hold on, let me see if I can turn the volume totally off. Hang on one second, Josh. There we go.
Okay. But yeah, and so like I just can't get into it, like just because I feel the combat's very stiff, and I just don't feel like I don't feel that level of immersion that so many people do. And recently I played with my friend, who actually did a really great job of kind of introducing me to it and showing me the world and explaining everything to me. But he actually was over the headset giving me like the play-by-play history of everything we saw, which is like one of the few reasons I was able to really get invested. Because unless you're going to go, you literally need to like read stuff offline in order to fully comprehend what you're doing.
Right. That's how it was for me too. I mean, I had asked Dr. Robo, like I had a gear optimizer. I had so much stuff going, but the reason that they streamline it now and why Greg doesn't like it is because everyone's just trying to get to 85 so they can get to Mr. Pandaria and play like the high level raid stuff. Because honestly, that's the most fun I had in the game is when I had a group of guys, and it gets very team oriented when you're fighting like a raid boss or something like that. And, everyone has roles to play, and it's probably some. And
I did a couple of the not instances. Is that what they're called? Dungeons.
Instance, yeah.
Yeah. That stuff's fun. Like, and I do like that, you know, you have to do that role playing stuff where you have to like be a support person or a tank or what have you. And like, I get it. That's fun. But I just, you know, the way that you kind of felt about Persona, like I'm always doing it wrong. That's how I felt about World of Warcraft. And it left me like really frustrated. I'm like, I'm just putting way too much thought into this. And I feel like I'm going to have to play 40 hours before it's even worth me playing, and I just don't have that time.
You'll absolutely get to a point. That's why I played with my friend Mike. You'll absolutely get to a point where you need a mentor. You need someone to be like, tell me what to do, or else you just can't do anything.
Exactly. So yeah, I couldn't stick with it. I just have been unable to. I've been able to stick with, this is really bad. I'm so sorry to everyone who's offended right now, but I've been able to stick with the Old Republic, Star Wars The Old Republic, way more than I was able to stick with Warcraft.
Oh, really? I wanted to try a new MMO at some point recently, aside from Defiance, but
it's, you know, Star Wars is really, really rough around the edges, but I think it's literally just the world and the simplicity of the world that keeps me invested in it. And there's like, you know, it's a BioWare story, so there is that like, you know, multi-branching story path that you can do for everything, and it's not well done. It's not like playing Mass Effect. It's not executed to that level, but I think even just having that kind of carrot is what kind of keeps me invested in it as well, because with World of Warcraft, it's like you just do the mission. They tell you go do something, you're going to do that, you know.
I can't make a Death Knight.
Yes, you have
to be
a
55 first. Yeah,
right.
I can't do it.
So I'm right.
Yeah, I guess.
Hey,
All right, what else are we talking about?
Nintendo Direct.
I didn't watch it.
Josh does the appropriate reaction.
I didn't watch it, and everyone said it was shit.
I watched it, and it was the same thing. It seemed like they put it together last minute to just have something before Xbox's announcement, Microsoft's announcement next week. But
this is not the one before E3, right? They're going to do one more before E3.
I don't know, dude.
No way. This is going to be the one before E3.
No way.
Definitely.
So first, let me ask: is there some sort of rhyme or reason to these things that I am missing, or
no? They're arbitrary. They seem arbitrary, at least, and then in case they're
I was thinking like because first off, it just seems weird that they would be arbitrary since there's so many of them. You think that they would be like, hey, 15th of every month. You know, get on your computers or your Wii U for the two people that own Wii U's, and you know, we'll show you what we got.
But dude, there's no rhyme or reason that like over in headquarters at all. Like anything they do at this point just makes me go, oh well, that's Nintendo.
If this was the final one before E3, if this was the final one, I understand why they're not going to E3, and it's because they have absolutely nothing to show.
Well, because it's confirmed that they're going to show. Well, let's take a guess of the three major titles that they're showing at E3 this year.
Nintendo,
Zelda.
Yeah, it's gonna be Zelda.
Mario.
What about
Mario?
What about that Donkey Kong game?
No, that's coming out on 3DS.
Oh, and Smash Bros.
Smash Brothers. Yep, it's those three.
Yeah.
So all new IPs, all new characters. It's going to be a whole new ball game for Nintendo. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Sonic in the new Smash Brothers because Nintendo acquired rights to Sonic. I don't know if they're exclusive, but I know they're coming out with an exclusive title on the Wii U for Sonic. They announced that at the Nintendo Direct contact.
They've been flirting with Sonic, like they've been going on dates for a while, and like I know they've made out at a few parties. It's nice to see that they've like actually gone to bed together and sealed the deal.
That is definitely an ugly party. That is like that's a terrible, terrible party. Like that's the party they made because they weren't invited to the better party.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's it called? Sonic Universes or something?
You know. It just seemed because I kind of read the highlights. I didn't watch it. I just, you know, got the play-by-play on Twitter. And it just seemed like, you know, every time they do one of these things, I'm like, oh, should I watch this? You know, I feel like, you know, they're going to say something important. And every time I'm like, man, I'm glad those are an hour and a half of my life I didn't waste.
It was a half hour this time, and it was still, like, there was no content. It showed Pikmin 3 again. Like, every Nintendo Direct has to have 20 minutes of Pikmin 3, I think.
And then 10 minutes to be like, and a couple games on the DS.
Yeah,
Later,
and every game they show on the DS is like a puzzle game. And the way they show games, man, it's like they don't They don't fucking care. It's like they bring up the game and then they basically verbally bring you through a tutorial. Like, what you must do here is you must connect these 3 dots and this will disappear. Yeah. And then, they're coming soon. And then you're like, what? Like, what am I looking at? You're telling me how to play a puzzle game like another Match 3? I don't care that Mario's face is on it. I don't care that it's another Game & Watch piece of fucking trash that's rehashed for a new system. Like, it's... Man, they just don't know how to show games, and they're so in their own little bubble that they're
okay.
Destined for failure.
Johnny and Greg, I want to make a podcast promise right now. Can we make a podcast promise that we're not going to talk about Nintendo until we either talk about Mario, Zelda, or Super Smash Bros?
I'm not quite sure what I'm promising.
He says we can't talk about them until it's something we're talking about. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Like, every time these Nintendo Directs come out, I feel like we end up having to say the same things because it's the only thing to say. But it keeps getting brought up again because they do them so often that I'm just like, we should just they are banned from the podcast until they can prove they're worthy to be talked about.
I like that.
I don't. I like complaining a little.
But that's all we do about it, so maybe it's good to just stop.
Like, I got, they're still doing that 30-year Nintendo anniversary, so games are 30 cents. So I picked up Super Metroid from the Super Nintendo Virtual Console thing, and I've been playing that a little bit. It's fun.
But you're just playing fucking old games.
No, that's true.
You can do that on regular Nintendo.
No, you're right. I'm just saying.
No, they're banned until they can say something of value. They're shunned. I'm shunning them.
I think the Wonderful 101 got a logo, but a logo doesn't really say.
What about that thing where Nintendo's now, if you talk about Nintendo on a YouTube video that has that makes money with ads, the money has to go to Nintendo.
Yeah, they pulled a dick move last week.
What?
Did you hear about this?
No, but that sounds so much like them.
Yeah, they're cracking. They're taking down player YouTube videos of people playing their games if they're getting ad revenue.
Oh my god,
I don't know. It's somebody thought that they could make a couple bucks at Nintendo because they're probably they're not hurting. It sucks because they're not hurting. Like, I'd rather see them go down the tubes.
Oh, what about that thing where Nintendo's going to be during the E3 week? They're at 100 Best Buys across the United States. They're going to have all this stuff neat. Playable. I'm thinking that should be the future for all. Like, Best Buy should do that every week, every E3 week with all the consoles and have people representatives there so you can actually play the stuff.
Well, after this year, because since it's a console year, they're not going to have the consoles there to play. But for Wii U, it's an exception, obviously, because they did a middle generation launch. But yeah, that's such a good idea.
I feel like we talked about it before, but I'm just going to reiterate it again in case we haven't. Like, I really feel that E3, in and of what it is, can only has so much longer that it can really survive. Just because, I think it's so much more important for these companies to get something in the hands of consumers that, like, these exclusive press things just don't matter. Like, they show closed doors to press all the time that they don't need a conference to do it anymore. And so I really feel like E3 is kind of on its, not like it's going to be gone in the next 2 years, but I think 5 years down the road it's going to be something completely different.
Like the next console.
Yeah, exactly. At the end of this console life cycle, E3 will either have to completely reinvent itself or it'll just be irrelevant.
Well, we'll just have new technology in place to allow consumers to have an equal experience.
We'll all be wearing Oculuses on the showroom floor at E3, pretty much.
The E3 Oculus Rift download.
We'll all be sitting in our couches and we'll be there together on the showroom floor walking around.
I'll have my pizza tube pumping pizza into my face.
I'll have a hot dog tube pumping hot dogs into my face.
Ooh.
That sounded really...
we went somewhere.
You got some personal demons coming out, Greg.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you and Biker Boy.
All right.
Going to the
me.
TV.
Oh,
shit. Should we talk about some Xbox?
This week, the 21st, we got a Microsoft conference coming up.
2 days.
This week. 2 days from now,
on Tuesday,
the future will be revealed, says the dashboard of my current Xbox every time I log on.
So,
we're taking it pretty seriously.
Do you think they're going to show hardware stuff or games?
I think it'll be a little bit of both. I think it's only scheduled to be like an hour long though. Like I think they're gonna have to literally get up there and be like bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. All right, see you in E3.
We were talking. I was thinking it's going to go one of two directions. It's going to go either it's going to be all about the hardware, and it's going to be probably technical. It's about like what's going to be coming out, and they're going to save all of the games for Spike when they do E3, or it's gonna be they're gonna open up with fucking Usher and fireworks.
I hope they don't announce anything. It was just musical performances back to back. They're like, later, guys. I think that it's because they have to address this always online DRM rumor that's flying around. So I feel like they have to come out and say certain technical aspects. They have to hit those things, just because they need to squash the rumors and get on top of it. But I also feel like they have to at least touch on some games, because Activision's going to be there with Call of Duty, and it would just seem really weird to like have it all be about Microsoft or the next Xbox, and then be like, all right, and here's a game for it. All right, back to the Xbox. Like, I feel like they'd have to be like, here's a game, here's another game, here's this guy.
Right, they got to have at least 3 or 4 games.
Maybe they won't show games. Maybe they'll show teasers, like really vague teasers. Like, make sure you watch E3.
But those are already out there, though.
Maybe they'll do them again. Newer ones.
But they could do that. They could do that really shitty thing that consoles do at this stage, where they'll be like, and just something for you to think about at E3, and then it'll do like a 3-minute video of like a kid, like, his TV comes to life and he steps into it, and suddenly he's on the battlefield with Master Chief, and then an airplane swoops him up and drops him, and he's in Destiny and he's fighting aliens. And
like the consumer demo videos.
It better not be a kid. It better be someone my age.
No,
okay, I need to relate.
He's gonna be in that like 17. He's gonna look like a really old 17-year-old. Maybe like a pencil-thin mustache.
He's gonna have like his hair in front of his face a little bit, and like a band T-shirt on.
4 people in all different colored T-shirts from Macy's, and they're all jumping up and down. With Connect 2.0.
Yep. Like, that's the end. The end is like he falls through a hole and like lands on his couch, and his friends there, and like, we're playing Connect, and like he gets up and starts playing Connect, and then the tagline comes on like, Xbox Infinity, the world ends with you.
The world ends with you.
The world ends
with you. It's the new Bond movie coming out.
I swear to God, guys, I should have been in marketing. I could have made it.
Should have been.
Why don't you make a few phone calls, Josh? I think you could do it.
I want to make a bet right now, though, with the show. I've been saving it for this. I believe it will be called the Xbox Infinity, and if I am wrong, I will throw pie in my face, and we can post a picture on the podcast.
Okay.
What kind of pie?
Something airy, like
I want a hot cherry pie right out of the oven, burning hot.
Not like a Nickelodeon whipped cream pie either. This has got to be a pie.
I will make it like a serious pie, but I want it to have I don't want it to like throw like an apple pie in my face. Mostly I want
a heavy 10-pound apple pie.
A shepherd's pie. We'll get the ingredients of a shepherd's pie.
I think a cream pie is fine. Just
okay.
A cream pie.
So that is my promise to everyone, to you guys. So I want you to hold me to this. If it's not called the Infinity, I'll put a pie in my face.
I think it's going to be called either Xbox or nothing that anyone's speculating.
Okay, so here's the thing, Johnny, because I was hoping you'd say that.
There we go.
So
here comes the bet.
If it's Infinity, I'll put a pie in my face. If it's not, or if it is Infinity, you put a pie in your face.
If it's not Infinity,
I did not say I want to be involved in this pie bet.
I think it's a good bet.
You should take the bet, John.
All right, I'll take it. But
yeah, this is awesome.
Okay, but I either say Xbox or nothing anyone's ever said. So no 720. No.
Honestly,
Infinity.
John, it sounds like as long as it's not. If it's Xbox Infinity, you have to take a pie. If it's not, he takes a pie. That's the bet, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Greg, you are master of ceremonies on this.
Perfect. I love that.
All right, man. I guess that's the deal.
So anything is that it? The bet's sealed?
Are we gonna save that for Comic-Con, or we have to do it and post it on?
Oh no, we're gonna do it right away.
Let's do it right away.
We'll do it on because we're gonna do a special podcast on Tuesday night, right?
Oh, that's brilliant! Yeah,
we'll do it then.
We'll do it then. I don't know if we can get the video working by then, but
if anything, we'll at least we'll broadcast the sound of it happening, and then we'll just take a picture of it.
Post a picture.
It's gonna be really
on Facebook.
It's gonna be really weak radio. Just
And then
Okay,
Greg's
did
be
it.
like, all right. I'll be like, Gregg, give me a towel.
Well, we all have cell phones and whatnot. So I will get someone to hold the cell phone while I put it in my face.
There you go.
You guys can capture it and we can upload it to the site or on
Let's see
Twitter.
if we
or
can get
whatnot.
some sponsors. We get some people down
Cool Whip.
here.
Baker Square, or
We'll
whatnot.
get, we'll get Z100 radio station down here.
I'm so excited.
So Tuesday, we'll find out. It's Tuesday at 10 Pacific.
10 Pacific.
Is when the future of gaming is unveiled.
The future of gaming.
And the future of pies will be unveiled later that
future of
night and posted on Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
So is there? We got anything else to talk about?
Josh, do you have anything specific?
I want to talk about Star Wars.
Oh.
I feel like every time that something happens to Star Wars, I need to insert my Star Wars.
What happened in Star Wars this week, you nerd?
Exactly. Well, Star Wars, the license for Star Wars was purchased from Disney by EA in order to make console or PC games. They can't do mobile. They can't do Facebook. They can only do core.
What? No Facebook
games.
Star Wars games?
What?
Well, you'll still get them. They'll just be from Disney. Disney's like, no. We know how to make shitty Facebook games. We got that covered.
Well, I'm thinking that maybe Disney can still use Star Wars stuff in video games. Is what you're saying?
They can't do Disney Interactive can only do mobile, Facebook, and they can do Disney Infinity.
Oh, I was gonna say Disney Infinity is gonna be big for Star Wars. You kidding me?
Oh my God, they're gonna just abuse it on that.
They're
just
going to
run
abuse
it
the hell out of it.
Yeah. But so DICE, who makes Battlefield, Visceral, who did Dead Space 1, 2, and 3, are both already working on Star Wars games. They said BioWare will continue to work on Star Wars games. We don't know if that just means they're going to continue to support the Old Republic or if they are going to actually, or if they're going to build something new from scratch, like KOTOR 3 or something. So I wrote an article about this on explosion.com. I am torn a little bit. I am hopelessly getting back together with EA because of this. I know it's that person that you date. It's a terrible breakup, and you see him again 3 months later at a party, and you're like, "So, how's life?" And then suddenly you're back together the next day, and everyone goes, "Oh no,
you guys banged."
So yeah, exactly. Oh, we saw you go home with her last night. So EA is back in my life.
Well, EA announced that they're not doing any more on this DLC, right?
And microtransactions. Is that what you said, Gregg?
Well, I'm not sure about. I think what they said specifically was that when you get a game, it's gonna have all the content. You're not gonna have to buy new expansions for that game or new levels for the game. I think
Day one.
No, I think what they're saying is that they're gonna make it downloadable, but you won't have to pay for it if they add on to it. I think
because if they do future DLC,
I doubt they're gonna get rid of microtransactions. I don't think anyone will ever get rid of them at this point. I think everyone's gonna make use of that. Yeah, but I think what they're saying is when you pay for a game, you're gonna get all of it on day one. You're gonna get the
everything
whole game.
up to that point is gonna be on day one.
You know, and when it comes to that stuff, I'm going to be honest, I don't mind paying for quality content. Even microtransactions don't particularly bother me.
I agree with you because there's time after a game goes gold where the developers are still developing.
Yeah. And that's good. And I will also say I'm really happy it keeps those people employed, instead of, well, the game's finished, everyone go home, don't come into work tomorrow. They can actually say, hey, stick around, we're going to build a DLC. And so I can appreciate that. And, I played some of the, Lair of the Shadow Broker is fantastic. If you haven't played Lair of the Shadow Broker with Mass Effect, you haven't played the full Mass Effect experience.
Right.
So, yeah. And, I think that there's some obvious correlations to draw here. People are already saying, hey, we're going to get Battlefield Star Wars, which will be the spiritual Battlefield 3 successor. And that's
Battlefront.
Or Battlefront, yeah, Star Wars Battlefront successor. And that's fine. I would love for them to do something new. I think that's what I really want. I don't want Battlefront 3. I don't want Star Wars 1313 to get reborn. I would love for them to just take it and go a completely different direction and surprise me with it.
I'd like that with everybody right now, though.
Yeah, I guess I'd say that's true. Just of the industry on the whole, when someone says they're gonna make a special announcement and they do something new.
Like
that excites me more
Nintendo.
than
I love
anything.
when they come out and
This is a whole new Zelda for John Alzalona.
ooh, whoa, Josh,
Yeah,
watch the name.
But he got it right. He said John.
I got it right. Alzalona.
Oh,
I stumbled a little bit, but I got back up.
rushed the last part because you're not quite sure. You're like John Asselman.
No, I think he had it. I think he had it.
Thanks, Greg. Thank you for
Not
backing
too
me up.
bad. How are you doing on time?
Wait, Josh, do you know what my last name is?
De La Roca?
Oh, it's pretty good. It's Della Rocca, but
No,
Everyone at work calls him Della Roca, and Greg never says anything about it.
I don't really care. I got that all through high school and stuff too. Teachers, it's always Della Rocca. I don't know.
Look,
I think that's closer to the Italian pronunciation.
No, it's Della Rocca.
being hinky, no one knows how to pronounce my name,
Maybe.
but once they figure it out, that's what they call me. They
It's
like,
Hinky.
yeah, like it starts off. They'll call me Josh until they're like sure of how to say my last name, and then they'll just straight up, call me Hinky for forever. Except for one person who could never figure out how to say my last name. He said Hink for forever, and I thought it was just a nickname. Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Yo, because it's one syllable.
Yo,
Yeah.
Hank.
Yo, Hank.
And he thought that like,
Yo, Hank,
thought
we
he was
saw you
saying it
hooking up
correctly?
with EA the other day.
oh, don't talk about that yet. I was pretty drunk at that party. I saw Sonic and Nintendo make
Oh,
now.
no. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Let's end on that note before Josh starts talking more about Star Wars and Harry Potter and whatever.
And what happened between me and EA in my room last night?
Okay.
It was disgusting.
Guys, make sure you check us out at AwayCast.com. Check us out on Twitter, YouTube, all the stupid, silly bullshit you kids do nowadays. Greg, thanks so much for joining me this lovely evening.
It's not a problem, John.
Hey, thanks a lot, bud.
My pleasure.
Josh Hink.
Oh.
Josh, are you there?
I am prepared to put a pie in your face.
All right, we'll see Tuesday, everybody. We're going to do a little special AwayCast posted on Wednesday. We'll see you later. I'm John. Have a good
Deuces.